Hello, Linnea from Lilybrook here. I am a licensed professional counselor who is coming to you today to talk about some myths about autism. If we can dispel these myths, which can be really harmful in some cases, then we can also promote acceptance, which is the theme of our month. And so I think the biggest one and potentially the most harmful one that has been perpetuated is the myth that vaccines cause autism. They do not. The man who created that study used flawed data and has admitted to manipulating the data, as well as retracted his entire study due to these things. And there have been numerous studies done in the past years since 2003 that have not showed any linkage between vaccines and any kind of vaccines and autism. Autism is a neurobiological thing. It actually just is a different neurotype in your brain, and so it's not really even considered a mental health issue. It is a different neurological way that your brain is set up. That brings us to another one of our big myths, and that is that autism can be cured. Autism is a lifelong thing. That doesn't mean that it has to be a scary thing. It can be a little overwhelming at first when you first hear about it or have somebody diagnosed with it. However, what it generally means is that autistic person might need some more supports in some areas and less supports in other areas. But we shouldn't be trying to change people's neurotypes in their brain, because it's not going to work. We should be moving towards more acceptance and being able to help autistic people live in a world that's set up for more neurotypical people. Another myth about autism is that it's the same for everyone. It's not. People can be very different, as they are in the whole world, and one person could have something completely different than another person. So it could be that one autistic person needs more supports in the social areas and another person needs more support in executive functioning skills like time management and things like that. Or somebody could need more time spent alone, or somebody could need less time spent alone. It really just depends on the person and what they are having issues with at the time. That brings us to our next myth, which is that autism is a line and it goes from mild to severe, and there's nothing in between. It's just levels. We don't use functional terms like high or low functioning anymore, because it can be harmful, and it can also lead to people not getting the services that they need if they're considered too high functioning to be able to receive those services. So instead we use things like supports and accommodation in language. So this autistic person might need, like I said earlier, more support in social situations, or this autistic person might need more help speaking or communicating. So there's lots of different ways to phrase that aren't pathological and aren't harmful to our autistic community and those that we love who are autistic. So another myth that we have is that autism always includes intellectual disabilities. It doesn't. There is a spectrum of abilities. Sometimes it can bring with it cognitive issues or behavioral issues, but that doesn't always mean that it's the case. And so we have to be careful about that language. Another part that fits in with that is that non-speakers who do not use spoken language to communicate are also very intelligent and can be very intelligent and can use other methods of communication very effectively, such as typing or spelling or things like that. And our last myth, although there are lots, we could have a whole week on this, is that autism is only in boys, and it's really both boys and girls and non-binary folks. All of those things can occur at the same time. Boys tend to get diagnosed more because of the differences in behaviors and the way that society views girls and non-binary folks and males, but that doesn't mean that it's less common. It just means that it's not seen as often. So I hope those dispel some of the myths for you. If you have any questions, you can always contact Lilybrook at 248-250-6620 or the website, which is lilybrookcs.com. Thanks.